Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitangscha. Krishna 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 Hey Krishna 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 Hey Krishna 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 Rakshamam Krishna 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 Pahima Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rakshama Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Krishna Keshava Pahima Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Disha Charane Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopala Govinda Rama Sri Madhusudana Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopala Govinda Rama Sri Madhusudana Om apavitra pavitro va sarva avastang gatopi va StMoritz pundarika akshang sabhaya abhyantara shuchihi. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Om Ajnana Timarandasya Jnana Anjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukhaṁ karoti vachalam Pangam lang hayate girim Yat kripatamaham vandi Sri Gurung Dinataranam. Yat kripatamaham vandi Parama Ananda Madhavam. Trinadapi Sunichena Tarar Iva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kivalam. Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatir Anyatha. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Korea Aikya Arna Koriho Mane Ar. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Next we have scene number 23, entitled The Only Way to Become Free from Material Existence. The personified Vedas continued. O Lord, the influence of time, such as past, present, and future, and the material miseries, such as excessive heat, excessive cold, birth, death, old age, disease, are all simply the movement of your eyebrows, for everything is working under your direction. Now, Prabhupada comments on this prayer. It is said in Bhagavad Gita, Mayad yakshena prakriti suyate sa characharam hetu nanena kaunteya jagad vipari vartate. The material nature, which is one of Krishna's energies, is working under Krishna's direction, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under the rule of Krishna, this cosmic manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Also in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna states in chapter 18, Ishvara sarva bhutanang hrideshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, and Krishna is directing the wanderings of all the living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Krishna also states in chapter 7 of the Gita, Daivi hi esha guna mayi, mama maya duratyaya, mam eva ye prapadyante, mayam etang tarantite. The divine, transcendental energy of Krishna, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is most difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto Krishna can easily cross beyond it. Thus, all material activity is going on under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. All the conditions of material existence are actually opposing elements for persons who are not surrendered unto Krishna. But for those who are surrendered souls and who are in full Krishna consciousness, these things cannot be a source of fearfulness. For instance, when Nrsimhadev appeared, Prahlad Maharaj was never afraid of Lord Nrsimha, whereas Prahlad's atheist father was immediately faced with death personified and was killed by the Lord. Therefore, although Nrsimhadev appears as death for an atheist like Hiranyakashipu, Krishna is always kind and is the reservoir of all pleasure to devotees like Prahlad. A pure devotee is not, therefore, afraid of birth, death, old age, and disease. The original commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam, Sripad Sridhar Swami, has composed a nice verse in this connection. Sangsara chakra krakachayar vidarnam udirna nana bhavatapa taptam kathanchid apanam iha prapanam tvam udara sri nri hare nri lokam. My dear Lord Krishna, I am a living entity perpetually disturbed by the conditions of material existence. And I have been cracked into different pieces by the smashing wheel of material existence. And because of my various sinful activities while existing in this material world, I am burning in the blazing fire of material reaction. Somehow or other, my dear Lord Krishna, I have come to take shelter unto your lotus feet. Please accept me and give me protection. And the great Acharya, Srila Narottama Das Thakur, also prays like this. Ha ha Prabhu Nanda Sutta Rishabhanu Sutta Juta Koruna Koroho E Baro Narottama Dasa Koi Na Theliho Ranga Pai Toma Bine Ke Ache Amar. My dear Lord Krishna, O son of Nanda Maharaj, you are associated with the daughter of Vrishabhanu, Srimati Radhika. So I have come to take shelter under your lotus feet after suffering greatly in the material condition of life. And I pray that you please be merciful upon me. Please do not kick me away, for I have no other shelter but you. And so the conclusion is that any process of self-realization or God realization other than bhakti yoga or devotional service is extremely difficult, as Krishna confirms in chapter 12 of Gita. Klesho adhikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukang te havad bir avapyate. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifest, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So, therefore, taking shelter of devotional service to Lord Krishna in full Krishna consciousness is therefore the only way to become free from the contamination of material conditional life, especially in this age, Kali Yuga. And those who are not in Krishna consciousness are simply wasting their valuable time, and they have no tangible proof of actual spiritual life. For instance, when Vibhishan came to Lord Ram just before the war broke, he came to surrender to Ram, and Sugriva had advised not to accept Vibhishan. Sugriva and other monkeys were of the opinion that Vibhishan was to be treated with the utmost caution and suspicion. Vibhishan should be interrogated and tested before they placed any trust in him. But Hanumanji said that he had not detected any deceit in the speech or expression of Vibhishan. For if a person has ill motives, then it is always revealed in their expression. So Hanuman felt that Vibhishan had wisely decided that Ram's cause was superior to that of Ravana's. And so it appeared that this Rakshasa brother of Ravana was highly moral and desired to assist Ramachandra. And so at that time, it was said by Lord Ram, Sakrid eva prapano yas, tabasmiti cha yachate, abhayang sarvada tasmai, dadami etad vratang mama. I always give confidence and security to anyone who surrenders unto me and decides definitely that he or she is my eternal servant. And why is that? Because that is my natural inclination. Similarly, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Daivi hi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mam eva yi prapadyanti mayam etang tarantite. The influence of material nature is insurmountable, but anyone who surrenders unto Krishna can verily overcome the influence of material nature. The devotees are not at all interested in arguing with the non-devotees to nullify their theories. Rather than wasting their time, devotees always engage themselves in the transcendental loving service of Lord Krishna in full Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Scene number 24 is entitled Acharyavan Purusho Veda. Vijita Krishika Vayubir Adanta Manastura Gung Ya Iha Yatanti Yantum Ati Lolam Upaya Kida Vyasana Shatanvita Samavahaya Gurosh Charanam Vanidya Ivaja Santi Akritakarna Dara Jaladhau. The personified Vedas continue to offer their prayers. Our dear Lord Krishna, although great mystic yogis may have full control over the elephant of the mind and the hurricane of their senses, unless they take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, they must fall victim to the material influence, and they will never become successful in their so-called attempts at self-realization. Such unguided persons are compared to merchants going to sea on a ship without a captain. For by one's personal attempts, therefore, no one can get free from the clutches of material nature. One has to accept a bona fide spiritual master and work according to his direction. Then it will be possible to cross over the ocean of nescience of the material conditions. So, I have combined Prabhupada's notes, and I also have my notes as we finish up this section. Sripad Sridhar Swami has composed a nice verse in this connection, in which he says, Yada parananda guro bhavat pade, padang mano me bhagavul labeta, tada nirasthakila sadhana shrama, srayeya saukyam bhavata kripata. O all merciful spiritual master, O representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when will my mind be completely surrendered unto your lotus feet? Because at that time only, by your mercy, I shall be able to get relief from all obstacles to my spiritual life, and I shall be situated in blissful life. Actually, ecstatic samadhi, or absorption in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, can be achieved by constant engagement in Krishna's service. And this constant engagement in devotional service can be performed only when one is working under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. The Vedas therefore instruct that in order to know the science of devotional service, one has to submit him or herself unto a bona fide spiritual master. This is confirmed in the Mundaka Upanishad, which states, Tad Vigyarnatang sa Gurum eva bigachet Samit pani shrotriyan brahmanishtam. The bona fide spiritual master is one who knows the science of devotional service in disciplic succession. This disciplic succession is called shrotriyam, the prime symptom of one who has become a spiritual master in disciplic succession is that one is 100% fixed in bhakti yoga. Sometimes people neglect to accept a spiritual master and instead endeavor for self-realization by some mystic yoga practice. But there are many instances of failure even by great yogis like Vishwamitra. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna confessed to Krishna, Yo yang yogas tvaya prokta samyena madhusudana etasyahang napashyami Chanchalat vat stating stiram. O Madhusudan, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable for me. For the mind is restless and unsteady. Chanchalang hi manak Krishna, pramathi balabad vridham, tasyahang nigrahang manye, vayor iva su duskaram. For the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna. And for me to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the raging wind. Thus, Arjuna confessed that controlling his mind is as impractical as stopping the blowing of a hurricane. When we studied Krishna's Leela in Mathura, Krishna informed King Muchukunda, Yunjananam abhaktanam pranayamad-birmana akshina vasanang rajan drishyate punar uthatam. Krishna told Muchukunda, "Oh, my dear king, I offered to give you any kind of benediction just to test how much you have advanced in devotional service. But now I can see that you are on the platform of pure devotees, for your mind is not disturbed by any greedy or lusty desires of this material world." The yogis who try to elevate themselves by controlling the senses and who meditate upon me by practicing the breathing exercise of pranayama are not so much thoroughly freed from their material desires. And it has been seen in several cases that as soon as there is allurement, such yogis again come down to the material platform. The vivid example verifying this statement is the story of Vishvamitra Muni. Vishvamitra Muni was a great yogi who practiced pranayama, a breathing exercise. But when Vishvamitra was visited by Menaka, a society woman of the heavenly planets, Vishvamitra lost all control and begot in her a daughter named Shakuntala. Whereas the pure devotee Haridas Thakur was never disturbed. Even when all kinds of allurements were offered by a prostitute, and what to speak of allurements offered by Maya Devi herself. Therefore, the minds of non-devotees who engage in such practices as pranayama are not fully cleansed of material desires. Thus, material desires are again seen to arise in their minds. Sometimes the mind is compared to a maddened elephant. Without following the direction of a spiritual master, one cannot control one's mind and senses. In other words, if one practices yoga mysticism and does not accept a bona fide spiritual master, he or she will surely fall, and one will simply waste his or her valuable time. And so the Vedic injunction is that no one can have full knowledge without being under the guidance of the Acharya. Therefore, the Vedic aphorism, Acharyavan Purusho Veda. One has to accept an Acharya who knows what is what. And this is because the absolute truth cannot be understood simply by argument. Indeed, the Katha Upanishad declares, Naisha Nartarkena Matir Apaneya Proktanyenaiva Sugyanaya Prishta. This realization of the absolute truth cannot be acquired simply by logic. It must be spoken by an exceptionally qualified spiritual knowledge and given to a bona fide disciple. So, one who has attained the perfect Brahmanical stage naturally becomes renounced, and one does not strive for material gain because by spiritual knowledge he or she has come to the conclusion that in this material world there is no insufficiency, for everything is sufficiently provided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A real Brahmana, therefore, does not endeavor for material perfection. Rather, a real Brahmana approaches a bona fide spiritual master in order to accept orders from him. Sarvang Chaitad Gurau Bhaktya Purusho Hi Anjasa Jayet. A person can easily obtain all goals of life simply by being devoted to one's spiritual master. For me personally, this is exactly what my realization has been the past so many weeks. So for myself, I want to repeat this. Sarvang Chaitad Gurau Bhaktya Purusho Hi Anjasa Jayet. A person can easily obtain all goals of life simply by being devoted to one's spiritual master. Similarly, Krishna instructed Uddhava in the 11th canto with this very powerful statement. Nrit deham adyang sulabang sudurlabang Plavang sakalpang guru karna dharam Mayanukulena nabasvatteretang Puman bhavabding natare sa atmaha. The human body, which can award all benefit in life, is automatically obtained by the laws of nature, although it is a very rare achievement. This human body can be compared to a perfectly constructed boat, having the spiritual master as the captain, and the instructions of the personality of Godhead as favorable winds impelling it on its course. Considering all these advantages, a human being who does not utilize one's human life to cross the ocean of material existence must be considered Atmaha, the killer of one's own soul. In the 11th canto, the Navayogendra Sri Prabuddha responded to the inquiries of King Nimi with this powerful verse. Tasmad gurung prapadyeta jigyasu shreya uttamang shabde parecha nishnatang brahmani upashamashrayam. The spiritual master's qualification is that he is Brahman Ishtam, which means that he has given up all other activities and has dedicated his life to working only for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And when a bona fide student approaches a bona fide spiritual master, he submissively prays to the spiritual master as follows: My dear Lord, kindly accept me as your student and train me in such a way that I will be able to give up all other kinds of processes for self-realization and simply engage in Krishna consciousness, devotional service. The devotee engaged by the direction of the spiritual master in the transcendental loving service of Lord Krishna contemplates as follows: My dear Lord Krishna, you are Raso Vai Sa, the reservoir of pleasure. Since you are present, what is the use of the transient pleasure derived from society, friendship, and love? Persons unaware of the supreme reservoir of pleasure, Krishna, falsely engage in deriving pleasure from material sense gratification. But this is simply transient and illusory. In this connection, Vidyapati, a great Vaishnava devotee and poet, says, Tata lasai kata vari bindu sama, sutta mita ramani samadje. My dear Lord Krishna, undoubtedly there is some pleasure within the midst of society, friendship, and love, although it is materially conceived. But such pleasure cannot satisfy my heart, which is just like a desert. In a desert, there is need of an ocean of water. But if only a drop of water is poured on the desert, what is the value of such water? Similarly, our material hearts are full of multi-desires which cannot be fulfilled within the material society of friendship and love. But when our hearts begin to derive pleasure from the supreme reservoir of pleasure, Krishna, then we can be satisfied. That transcendental satisfaction is only possible in devotional service, in full Krishna consciousness. Namaste Narasimhaya, Prahlad Ahlada Dayane, Hiranya Kashipur Vakshaha, Shilatanka Lakalaye, Ito Nrsinga Parato Nrsinga, Yato Yato Yamitato Nrsimha, Bahi Nrsingo Hridaye Nrsingo, Nrsingham Ading Sharanang Prapadye, Tavakara Kamala Vareinakam Adbhuta Sringam, Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Bringam, Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Nrsimha Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha Hare Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare